All rise.
It's funny how as time passes, memories fade, but the trauma stays. It was so long ago, I can't tell you exactly what it looked like. But I can tell you exactly what it felt like. There I stand, a 10-year-old little girl, at the doorway of courtroom number 2 of the county courthouse, about to close this chapter of my story. About to tell what happened for the last time. My abuser sits in the defendant's chair. The room full of strangers, with what seems like a million steps from the doorway to the witness stand. A million difficult, scary, lonely steps to go. It's so much to ask. Too much to ask of a 10-year-old child to recount in detail what happened on that horrific night, almost 3 years before, when I was only 7. How am I even here? According to the law, the perpetrator has the right to face their accuser. In this case, the perpetrator, a grown man who promised to be my protector, and his accuser, a 10-year-old little girl who believed him. I remember sitting in my room, hearing the usual yelling and objects being thrown around. Yelling turned to screaming, then the loud sound of a slap and a thud of my mother hitting the ground. I waited. I waited because I didn't want to make it worse. Like my mother, I learned my lesson many times before. But for me, it was different. When it was my turn, he would pull the extension cord from the wall. He would take his time. I would wait for the first sting before I went somewhere else in my mind. That's how I learned to not interfere. So I waited until he left, then went to check on my mother. She said what she always says. Grab a towel for the bleeding, pack some ice in a Ziploc for the bruises. I remember her looking at me, smiling, as she told me I was a good girl. I could see the fear and sadness in her eyes. This was the routine. And every night, I found myself listening and waiting to help my mother when she needed it. Then, everything changed. This time, there was a different sound. Not a thud, but a popping sound. Like a firecracker sound bouncing off the walls in a room trying to escape. But that didn't make any sense. Something was off. I could barely wait. But like before, I waited for him to leave, and I went to grab a towel and ice in a Ziploc bag, as I'd always done. The first thing I noticed was the smell. A burning smell, almost. I remember the smell like when Mom would accidentally burn my toast. I felt it too. The burning, not just in the pit of my stomach. I knew the Ziploc bag wouldn't fix her this time. I looked at my mom. She didn't look back. Without even thinking, I found myself running out the front door, still barefoot. It felt like running through a dark tunnel with quicksand. Everything was spinning. I couldn't hear or see anything other than the bright lights of a convenience store around the corner. In some way, somehow, someone must have called the police because they showed up. Lights flashing, sirens blaring. The moment itself happened so quickly, but turns out that was just the beginning. The waiting that started then was unbearable. The waiting is where the trauma begins to fester. It would be 3 years until the court date. There I stand, a 10-year-old girl, at the doorway of courtroom number 2 of the county courthouse, with an impossible amount of steps remaining to face him. But here's the thing. What he doesn't know is that I have a secret weapon. A weapon far stronger than a 9mm handgun. I have the Center for Child Protection. I remember the warmth of that place. Soft, warm rays streaming through a giant window, making shapes on the ground. A smiling face helping me find the letters to spell my name. They let me tell my story in my own words, the way I needed to. And they gave me a teddy bear when I finished. In time, and with help, I learned to find moments of joy in small connections, to step towards new challenges, to find beauty in the things I cannot see, and allow myself to be vulnerable with someone safe. So, here we are, almost 3 years later. I'm ready to take those million steps that I'm able to take thanks to you, the community of supporters. Now, there I stand, a 10-year-old girl with the Center for Child Protection by my side. Because of them, because of you, your compassion, and your love. The last million steps are only 32. 32 steps from the door to the witness stand. To justice, to healing.